Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this really pretty decorative towel. How I selected my fabrics, I just picked colors that were in the towel, and that's how I decided what I was going to do here. So you can use fat quarters or you can buy other pieces of fabric off of the bold, anywhere from 1/8 of a yard wide to 1/4 of a yard wide. Okay, let's get started. The first step is to measure the width of your towel. Then you want to decide if you want just a slight bit of a ruffle, that it just barely stands out that it's a ruffle, or if you want a lot of very thick ruffly look. So if you want just a slight ripple in your fabric, multiply the width times 1.5. And then if you want a lot of ruffle, then you would multiply that times 2. Then you're going to cut 2 strips of fabric that is that length that you calculated. One of your strips will be 3.5 inches wide, and then the other strip is 4.5 inches wide. This piece here is the little border that will be at the bottom. This is the piece you'll see the most on the front side. Then you want to take your fabrics and stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam. Then you want to press this seam. Now, after you have finished pressing, then take this edge and bring it up to the edge of the other piece of fabric and line it up. Then place pins on each side and place pins on this side. Then you want to stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam on this edge and this edge down here. Then you want to go ahead and reach inside and turn that front side out. And when you're done, it should look like this. Now you want to poke these 2 bottom corners out and press this flat. So you have a little bit of that fabric of the one piece showing on the front, and it's also shown on the back. Then at this top edge here, the raw edge, you want to do a basting stitch. And you want to do a stitch that's basting stitch no shorter than 5 or up to 10. On my machine, I selected 10, which is a very wide stitch. So when you put it in your machine, you want to make sure you have the bobbin thread sticking out of the bobbin area up underneath the throat plate, and then a long piece of thread that's coming out on the needle. Then you begin stitching about 1/8 of an inch wide area along here. You don't want it to be a short stitch, otherwise it won't gather. So now you're going to take the top thread, the thread that came out of the needle, and you're going to gently push on the fabric, gathering it up. So once you gathered 1/2 of it towards the center of your strip, go to the other end, take the top thread, and gather it up. Now take each end of your border here, and I like placing this piece down here below the edge of the towel. This way it kind of hides the crooked edges sometimes that appear on towels. They're not always even going across. So I'm pinning it right along the side edge there. And then go to the other end and do the same thing. Then you want to slowly adjust all your gathers. Keep working it till they look pretty even. You also want to make sure that it's even going across here, so you may have to adjust and add more pins. Once you have it all straightened out, turn around and look underneath to see what it looks like, that nothing looks uneven. Then your next step is to put your decorative ribbon on. If it'll make it easier for you to put the ribbon on, you could do a stitch across this edge to hold it down while you're putting your ribbon on. It's really up to you. So what I like to do is, on this, I used 1-inch wide ribbon. I would have preferred it was a little narrower, but I didn't have anything that really went with this. Otherwise, I would have gone with like 1/2 inch or 5/8 inch wide. So take your ribbon and fold the end to the back side. And I like to do a little finger press so that it's easier to place it down. Then you're going to place it, take the center of the ribbon and place it over the raw edge, and place your ribbon like this. And then of course, go ahead and pin it down on that end. Then you're going to keep placing it across here. And then when you get down to this end, go ahead and cut, but leave enough to turn under, and then turn this end under and pin it down. Then finish pinning it across here so that it stays in place. So what I usually do is I'll just remove one of these pins and then place the pin back in on top. So you could do that all the way across. Then you just have one more bit of stitching to do. So what I like to do is start down here, stitch close to the edge, and you're doing a regular stitch, stitch up across the ribbon, across the top edge down here, up here along the edge, then stitch back down this side. Then go to the other bottom edge of the ribbon and stitch right across here. And then you're done. So this is what it looks like when you are done. Now this is a very feminine towel. There again, if you don't want it to look overly feminine, you can only multiply that math measurement by 1.5, and it'll just be a slight ripple. And I'm going to show the back, and then here's what it looks like on the back side at the bottom. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something new. This little technique I did down here at the bottom, I often use on ruffles for many other types of projects. For instance, pillows, table runners. So this little technique, you can use it in many different ways. Now, if you're interested in looking at other decorative towel ideas, make sure you go down below your YouTube screen and click on the words more, or it could say show more. Once you click on that, it'll expand open and you will see links to other decorative towels, my table runners, pot holders, placemats. I'll also have my sewing tips of the week, which are very informative. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and make sure you check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.